Could we start with your team news, please?
Yes, of course. What do you want to know? Overall, from last week, I think Bellerin, Coughlin and Gibbs are back in the group. Not Walcott. So these three should be available to be selected again for Sunday. And we have no injury from last week.
So Olivier Giroud is okay then?
Olivier Giroud is back in training, yes, since yesterday.
Just finally from me, you face Burnley on Sunday. Very strong at home this season, only 1 point away from home. Can you explain that at all?
It's difficult to explain. There's a special atmosphere there. They have certainly the needed confidence. They are very efficient at home, and they know very well what to do at home. You know, they defend very well. They do not concede goals, and they are a top 10 team. You know, they're in the first part of the league. So what they've done is absolutely unbelievable. And we have to make sure they do not find a solution away from home on Sunday, because it's a big game for us. And we have to prepare well. And even away from home, you know, recently they have not, they will be unlucky in some games.
Arsene, you say Bellerin's back fit. Does that mean you'd be happy now to let Jenkinson go to Palace?
It's not necessarily linked with that, you know, but Jenkinson is a possibility, yes, to go to Palace, but it's not finalized.
How close would you say it is, if at all?
It's basically down to him now to find an agreement with them.
If Jenkinson was to go, would that in any way affect Debusssy's position here at all? Letting him go?
Not really, because recently I played Gabriel and I'm very happy with Gabriel in this position.
With Per Mertesacker, is it true to say that a deal for an extension for him is quite close now as well?
He has an option, Per Mertesacker, you know, that we have taken. So there was no negotiation, it's just an option that we had taken.
And he's your captain. How far away is he from playing?
He's back in training. Not with the squad, but I think he's 2 weeks away now.
What would the effect of having him back for the end of the season be, you think?
Look, he has, with the number of games we have, you know, it's important that, of course, we have all our experienced players back. Everybody's focused to do well. We are going to the moment of truth now, January until May. It's 5 months to go. And you want ideally all your players who have a big experience back in the squad.
Has it been significant that your captains recently, like Mertesacker, like Arteta before him, have been out injured for so long, would you say?
Look, it's completely accidental, you know. Arteta is true that he struggled with muscular problems, but Per was accidental. It's a knee problem, but he has recovered from that, so there's no reason why he should be injured again.
2 weeks to go to the end of the transfer window. Do you expect to sign anyone for the first team?
I expect it to be a very quiet period, because we have just Welbeck coming back now. Offensively, we are very strong. We have many players who can come in, and overall I don't expect to do anything special.
Would you like Payet?
I don't need Payet, because we have so many creative players that I rate Payet, yes, as a player, of course, but it's not an area where we look for some players.
If he became available, though, for the right money, would you be interested?
No, we have many players offensively who can play in this position. You're interested by the quality of the player, but there has to be a need as well, and we have no need in this domain.
Arsene, how surprised have you been about Burnley this season? They're in the top 10. Are they realistically able to sustain that, do you think?
Everybody questions that every week, and when they play at home, and they beat everybody basically at home, you know. So it's what they have repeated for 20 games. It's not a coincidence, and Every time you see them play at home against a big team, you think this time they might not do it, and they do it every time. So we have to. That is just down to quality.
And what have you made of Marco van Basten's thoughts about changing football this week, about basically abolishing the offside, introducing orange cards? Is there much
Changing
changing
changing in itself is not a quality. Improving is a real target, you know. So some of the proposals are discussable. Some of them I don't see any big interest.
Which do you think are discussable and which do you think aren't?
Real time. Maybe temporary exclusions. The one I don't find interesting is suppress offside, because I think offside is what makes the teams be together. You know, it's a big quality of a team sport. It's a quality of it's an intelligent rule as well, where you can use your intelligence, and so that's very important to keep that in the game. And overall, let's not forget that football improves as well. People say it's too tight, too compact, but the evolution of a game has always been like that. Defense gives a problem to the attack finds the solution and the response, and the defense creates a new problem again for the attack. So we have to keep that going. But for the improvement of a game, it's very important that you have always faced new difficulties.
And what about the captain only dealing with the referee?
That's a very good proposal.
You've been in favour?
We all dream of that, but it never happens in our sport.
Arsene, just one quick one from me. You said this period was sort of the moment of truth for Arsenal. You've got 2 Premier League games, Burnley, and then Watford after that, before that big game that sort of looms early February against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. How important is it that you don't slip up, drop any points in these 2 coming up?
That's why I say that every game is important, and we just can focus on the next one. As you said, people speak always about big games, but the big games are only important if you do well in what so-called games where there's a bit less interest.
Hi, Arsene. There's a lot of competitions in the transfer market, as always. But especially these days, Chinese clubs come in with a huge financial support. But some question the level of football and the environment, like pitch condition, etc. What's your thought on that?
My thought is that when you want to be a football player, your first aspiration is to play in the best league against the best players, and that has to be the first target. After that, when you're a professional football player, you want to combine the fact you can play in the best league against the best players for the maximum amount of money. So I think that combination is the best in England at the moment. So I don't see why the players should leave the English Premier League. But China has moved forward, tries to promote football, and I'm happy that football becomes very popular in China. But I still think most of the players, of the big players, will stay in Europe at the moment.
Is that a bit worrying, that especially when you have a culture and a philosophy trying to produce players from youth level, but all of a sudden they might be taken away with the money, you can't really compete?
Yes, of course, it's a worry, but it happened as well in Europe before, and it happens as well when you are in a smaller club. Again, sometimes we had periods where we could not compete financially with the bigger clubs, so have taken our players away from us as well. Can happen inside the country.
Just following on from that, really, a lot of talk about Diego Costa and Payet this week. Do you feel it's harder than ever to keep top players happy?
Not really. Not really. It depends. In every club, of course, the problem is different. You know, and when you have a problem with one player, doesn't mean that the whole squad is not happy. Sometimes it's because for one punctual problem, but overall, the players have everything today to be more happy than 20 years ago or 40 years ago, because they have are treated very well, they are fantastic income, they can be internationally, they can go everywhere, they have a freedom of movement, what we had not when we played, you know. I remember the time where when you signed somewhere, you were linked for the whole career with the club. You could not even move. So today, there's much more freedom on that front.
I mean, without going to Sanchez and Ozil and all of that again,
You can.
Can I? Okay. Is there an update on those two?
No.
But I mean, how much has the Chinese money kind of complicated negotiations with big players? Are they now asking for money that's kind of unrealistic, really, in the Premier League?
That's the danger. You know, that as your friend said, that the Chinese offers become the benchmark for Europe, and that you cannot compete with that. But I still think that at the moment, a player, when you're a football player, the first thing is what you want to play against the best players in the best teams.